Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. This is Tasha M. Dyer, the Trade Whisperer, creator of the BYOB Cash Out Strategy. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So ladies and gentlemen, as you log onto the line this morning, go ahead and drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat where you're calling in from. Along with those affirmations, you want to drop it in the chat where you're calling in from. Along with those affirmations, we'll be getting this call started in just a moment. But you definitely want to make sure that you go ahead and drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. Let me know where you're calling in from. And those affirmations. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. I hope everybody's having a wonderful morning. Y'all give me a moment. My voice is getting together. Like, what is going on? All right, let me see. Who do we have on here? I see we have Toledo. Good morning. Good morning. I see we have Miramar. Good morning. Good morning, Cleveland. Good morning, Minnesota. Columbus, Ohio. Good morning. Indiana. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, Pip Magnet. Good morning. Good morning, Cleveland. Good morning, Cleveland. Good morning. Good morning, Milwaukee. Good morning, Milwaukee. Milwaukee. Okay, Milwaukee. Manchester, UK. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, Australia. Good morning. Good morning, Jacksonville. Good morning, Greenville, South Carolina. Good morning, Chattanooga. Good morning, Essex, UK. Good morning, Cleveland. Okay, London, United Kingdom. Okay, good morning. Good morning, Virginia. So Milwaukee and UK, good morning, good morning. Represent this morning. All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Virginia. Okay, there y'all go. New Jersey. I'm like, I know it's more people than the United Kingdom and Milwaukee on the line. So good morning, and good morning again. All right. So let's go ahead. Let's see. All right, okay, so now I'm waking y'all up. I'm waking you up. I see Nigeria, Milwaukee again, right? So good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, guys, so let's talk affirmations, right? Let's get our minds right. Let's get our minds right. Let's get our minds right. I am an educated BYOB master trader anointed for wealth. I am the signal. All my trades end in profit. I am 777. All right. All right. And so we want to make sure that we are starting the call in the right mindset. Okay. And y'all really gonna have to bear with me and my voice this morning. All right. So good morning. My allergies are out of control. So we're gonna pray our way through this one. All right. So let's see here. Let's go ahead now. If you're new to this call this morning, this is your first time here with us, let me get a 111 in the chat. If you're still learning how to cash out, let me get a 222, right? Good morning, Cleveland. Good morning. And if you cashed out, let me get a 777 in the chat, 777. All right. So yes, I see I got 111s. So let me tell you guys, good morning, good morning. Now, how do these calls work? Right? How do they work? So Monday through Thursday, we're up, we're live, we're in the market, we are analyzing, we're looking at what's going on. On Tuesday nights, oh my gosh, can we say that things were shifted last night? We gained a greater understanding, right? That is our basics call, our foundation, right? We had a wonderful evening last night, had a wonderful radio broadcast yesterday, Power Pack Tuesday. Ms. Anderson, really gave us a great foundation last night, understanding exactly what we need to do to be successful. So just a phenomenal call. If you missed it, shame on you, right? So, but no, seriously, it's on our YouTube channel. So go ahead and go watch it. The stream is up there. You definitely want to go check it out, okay? And then, of course, tomorrow is our advanced, where we're going to be in the tools and really kind of help you understand exactly what we have to do to walk through that, right? We have to understand how to use the tools that we have access to. And that's what we do on Tuesday nights, all right, guys? Really kind of breaking that down and taking you to that next level, right? Foundation is laid on Tuesday. We build on top of that on Thursday, all right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get my screen shared together. And as I do that, right, as I do that, if you're just logging in, you still wanna drop those affirmations, all right? You still wanna do that. All right, I'm getting it, it's coming. I told y'all, pray for me this morning. Y'all heard me say on the broadcast that we was human too, right? Y'all heard us say that, we human too. I think I just lost some stuff, but we're gonna find it real quick. I'm pushing all the wrong buttons this morning. All right, so here we go. Let's see here this morning. All right, so here we go. When you're looking here, right, we had news this morning. Remember, we talked about CPIs, PPIs, MRIs, all those I's, right? So you see Great Britain pound, the GBP already had it, right? And so now you see we have news coming up at a red folder coming up at 8:30. And so what we're going to do is we're going to analyze the market and we're going to see, you know, what happened, right? Okay, Jacksonville, there go Jacksonville. I know it's somebody other than me and the visionary out here from Jacksonville. All right. So now what we're looking at, you know, we do the same thing. We come over here and we check to see what's going on. Okay. And, you know, this is not adjusted, guys. I'm telling you now. It has not adjusted. So you notice that lately I've been kind of leaning toward the other one. And this is why. It's just not adjusted. You see how this says 7:30? But you see how this is off, right? So we just have to wait on it and figure it out because that should not be showing 7:30. But you know, we know that. That's why we want to check more than one and why we always want to pay attention, all right? So, all right, we always want to do that. And so then, of course, as we come through here, all right, we're looking. Now, you have to check this first. So yours is off too? Okay, I'm gonna just go with they anticipating the time change. So that's what I'm gonna go with. So we log in, we sit down at the computer, right? We sit down at the computer. We go through what we got. We get our minds right, right? So we do our affirmations. I'm a BYOB master trader anointed for wealth. I am the signal. All my trades end in profit. I am 777. Okay, so we go through that. And then we check our current events. We need to know what's going on. So then we come check our financial news. And that's what we do. So now what we want to do is we're going to get in here. We're going to talk about the BYOB cash out strategy. And, you know, we're going to dive in. We're going to talk about the cash out strategy. And, you know, we're going to come over here. So let's see what's going on. All right. You notice I got the white background up. Hey, somebody's happy about that, right? So let's see what's happening. I thought, did we have a GBP USD in here? I knew I saw one. It's right here. So let's analyze this. Did y'all see that? Did y'all see that? You saw how I just changed back to black? Okay, I'm gonna let that alone. All right. So now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk you. Y'all see my technology now? Look, it's trying to change back to white. I said my allergies was going crazy. Now my technology, that's okay. I need my allergies not to be going. My allergies, not my technology. All right. So let's put this call price on here. All right. And we're going to walk through the BYOB cash out strategy. Okay. I wanted it white on purpose. I wanted the lighter background. I try to accommodate everybody. I prefer the dark background personally, but I try to make sure that, you know, we accommodate everybody. Because I know some of you all like the lighter background. All right. So this is where this triggered, right? You see GBP USD, right? And it's triggering for a sale. All right. And that's been a little over. You say now I'm mixing it up and accommodating everybody. You're right. So now let's go ahead and look at this. Okay, let's walk through here. I'm gonna walk you through. You see there's potential sale happening right here, but I'm gonna also walk you through BYOB cash out from here. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's break this down. Let's walk through this. Okay, so what we're looking for is always right around the 80 and the 20. We have three indicators. We have our stochastic, we have our Hikinashi candles, and we have our PSAR, right? That PSAR is the dot. The PSAR is, the dot that's on here. So that's ultimately what we're looking for. Okay, this is a trailing stop and reversal. Now let me say this, because for some reason I always forget. I don't forget to use it, but I forget to mention it. My stop loss is always above or below the PSAR. It's never on the PSAR. All right, guys. It's always above or below the PSAR. Do not trade without a PSAR. Without a stop loss. I told y'all, I took some medication this morning, so y'all just got to bear with me a little bit today. We're going to have a good time and make some money, okay? So the stop loss is always above or below the PSAR, all right? It's always above or below the PSAR. And knowing that it's above or below, and so I don't need to say, okay, 15 pips is my stop loss, 20 pips, 10 pips, whatever. No, where my stop loss is above or below. The market is telling me where my stop loss goes, okay? That's what the market is doing. And so when I'm looking at this, my stochastic is my leading indicator, where you can see that it's around that 80 and we're pushing down for a sell. Now you notice that we did sell already. We should have had some 777s this morning. But here, you notice that right here, we're beginning to curve down again. Now, I know it's not around the 80. If you are new, like my 111s, you're new to the strategy, you wouldn't touch this, okay? I'm going to be very clear. Because no, you have to be able to understand how my time frames work together before you really start doing continuation trades, okay? So you're looking for these setups, okay? And there are many in there. But as you advance, or as you're on these calls with us, then you can begin looking here, okay, at continuation trades. But that's only after you understand how my time frames work together, okay? You have to understand that. So now what I'm doing, all right, that blue line cross over the red and the downward momentum, right? Come over here. I have a red candle with a flat top and that PSAR, all right? Now I'm gonna change the color because we're not using a white background right now. So when I'm here, now I have my BYOB cash out. That flat top candle, let me make it a little wider, flat top candle and a dot, which is my PSAR on the top. Now I come over here. You see what we mean about my stochastic? I actually have a flat top candle right there, but I do not have a PSAR flip, okay? I do not have a PSAR flip, all right? So you see that, okay? So now what I wanna do is time frame confluence. Why is that? Because once again, it is no such thing as trading on a certain time frame, all right? And I'm saying it like I know you're gonna hear it. You're gonna hear it your whole life of trading. You're going to hear, I'm trading on the 15, I'm trading on the hour. I might even say it. But as I'm explaining this, I'm just trying to get you to see the market, all right? Because this price is the price no matter where I'm at. You're just looking at it from a different viewpoint. So now as this blue line crosses over the red and the downward momentum, right? And you had a red candle with a flat top. We do not have a PSAR. So what I want to do is what we call time frame confluence. Time frame confluence is allowing us to really see if we're in alignment, all right? Some of the questions last night, that's why I told you guys to go back and watch last night's training. Some of the questions last night, what do the 5 and the 15 or the 5 and the 30 and the 15 and the hour have to be in alignment? Like, do they have to be going the same way? That's the whole purpose behind time frame confluence, right? That's the entire purpose behind time frame confluence. And as Ms. Anderson was explaining it last night, she was explaining it the same way I'm explaining it, but you guys still ask those questions. So I'm mentioning it again because I don't want you guys overthinking, overanalyzing, right? Analysis paralysis, right? We're telling you that it has to be in alignment, okay? That means if my 15 is set up and is selling, then my 1 hour needs to be setting up for a sell as well, right? So I cannot take a 15-minute trade in a buy if my 1 hour is selling. That's what confluence means. Alignment, it's alignment. We're doing the same thing, right? So now is it gonna look exactly the same? No, because it happened, you see it on the 15-minute before you see it on the hour. And I'm gonna change my verbiage because I want you guys, because I always say it happens on the 15 before it happens on the hour. It's happening at the same time, but you're seeing it on the 15 before you see it on the hour, right? You're seeing it. Oh, look, PSR flip. Here we go. Let's check my 5. All right, so look at my 5 still in alignment, right? Still there. So now you see we got a PSR flip right here. Look at my hour. All right. So ta-da. All right. And look at my 4 hour. That's just beautiful. Now, I know we do 10 pips and cash out, but what I also want to address, let me come over here, right? And let's kind of line this up. I'm gonna just kind of bring this back to here. Where's my last significant level? Okay. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to this, okay? I really want you guys to pay attention to this because that's what that last significant level is. Now, when that PSR flips, it's always pushing through a support and resistance. And you kind of see that's what's happening right up in this area right here. You definitely can see where we're breaking through and we're pushing through. If I come down and I come down time frames, right, you can see, look at how we're pushing down, right? You see how we're breaking and we're pushing through, all right? So, ta-da, there you guys go. I like it. We didn't have to wait till 5:45. So let's go look at something else while that plays out. All right, let's go look at something else. This just is not doing what we wanted to do. And that's okay. It just is taking forever. And that's okay. That is okay. We're probably gonna let it be great. And this is the same thing. I'm just leaving it there so we can watch it. And I'm telling you guys, sometimes we've been on here. Look, this just triggered for a buy. Let's go back over there. So that's so funny. It's not funny, but it's just to really show you that this is why we don't anticipate trades, right? It's just to really show you why we don't guess trades, you know, why we don't anticipate that everything we do from like, we wait till the market tells us that that's what we want to do, right? So that's really important. That is really, really, really important. Just I want you to be very clear on that. It's very, very, very important. All right. So, because look at this trend line been here, right? Let me see something. Let's see if it's still on here. And we're going to analyze that buy. Well, maybe we won't. Maybe we not. I told y'all, it's not just my allergies. It's like my computer got an allergy too. We don't need that, do we? So it's not pulling up. Oh, it pulled up here. So let me close this one. All right. So you see USD JPY triggered. We'll come back. So here, look, AUD USD. Let's pull this one. Let's look at this one. AUD USD, right? And that triggered for a sell. And it's happened at 74936. So I'm gonna leave it up so we can come back and look at all of that, okay? And then of course we know that it triggered for a buy over here. All right, and that was on the, let me give my time frame. That was on my 15-minute. And actually that was a long time ago. And as you see, it's still, it's like the market, y'all see that? It's like the market saying we're gonna sell eventually, but we're not doing it right now. So here, let me pause this for a moment. All right. So as we're looking at this, all right, I'm gonna put this on here, and we are going to AUD USD, and we're at 74932. All right. So here we go. Right, 74932. Now, I hope y'all brought y'all demo accounts that we talked about, because everybody, before I even really get deep into that, everybody should have pushed this button. Everybody should have pushed the button. Everybody. Demo account, we talked about that yesterday. If you are not pushing a button, everybody should have pushed the button. Everybody. All right. Okay, so let's come over here. AUD USD. Now we right here on a 5-minute chart where it's triggered, and it's always triggered in a correction. So I'm gonna give this up right here. And this was about 40 minutes ago. So obviously we're somewhere up in this zone right here. What I'm gonna do for you guys is I'm gonna put this right there. okay? Just for the sake, I don't lose you while we're flipping through here, okay? Now, come up here to my 30. At that time, that was valid, right? Because it was up in this zone right here. So at that time, it was a valid trigger. It was valid. Now, you notice that my stochastic was curving up. Now that we're in this 30 minutes, you notice my stochastic began to pull down. I want you to look at that stochastic. You see where that little blue line was crossing over right there? And the momentum shifted because it rejected. So that was a valid trigger, all right? That was a very valid trigger. But if I look at where I'm at in the market, you see we've been breaking off of here. You know, you got a psychological level right here where this is already kind of broke off. So I'm going through this because I want you to see that these triggers still happen. Like we know that this market is like overbought, right? You see how I told you the market's always going to reset, right? The market's always going to reset, okay? And that's like, it's still overbought right here. You see where it pushed up over when we started analyzing this thing pushed up to here and it pushed up to here. And so this is why we don't blindly take trades, because everything was in alignment. Like when we looked at this, was it the end of last week? Was it Monday? Whenever we looked at it for the first time, it was like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful, right? Oh my gosh, this is going to be a beautiful trade. But we didn't take it. We were like, we got to wait for it to get ready. And it's still, you see, it's just pushing up, but it's not pushing up, but you can see it's like, it just hasn't been, there's not been enough strength in the US dollar to make it happen. And so it's just kind of sitting right there. Okay, come through with the times two. Come through with the times two. GBP USD times two. GBP USD times two. I love it. All right. So what you're seeing, it should be some more 777s coming through here soon. So what you're seeing, right, is how it's trying to push down. And so that's why you're getting those triggers. Like it triggered on one and then it triggered on the other one, right? It triggers on one and then it triggers on one for a buy and it triggers on one for a sell because of where we are in the market, you know? And so like that trigger for a buy because of where it's at. But then if I come and I put a nice little trend line right here, right? It triggered on the, what do we trigger on the 15? And you can see that that's valid, right? For a sale. It should be triggering for a sale on my lower time frame, right? Remember, there's structure inside of structure. So this should be triggering for a sale. So it is triggering in a correction for that buy, but then my bounce back is triggering for a sale. So once again, that's valid, right? You guys got it? Any questions on that? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? None? So you gotta wait on this to play out. It looks like blue line cross over the red and the downward momentum, red candle, PSR flip. Check my hour, right? I would let it break through here. You see what I'm saying? I would definitely let it break, you know, it's just breaking through here. You can kind of see that that's, you know, we kind of got the same thing going on as that GBP USD. And so since we didn't grab this one like we did that one, right? I would kind of, you know, it's gonna push through though. That's gonna break through. There's a whole training on the bounce back, but just for clarity, if you go on the YouTube channel, you know, I'm gonna let you know that there is a training on it, just so you could have clarity where we train on it for like an entire hour, so you understand like in more detail. But each one of these tools that you have in the academy, right? Each one of these tools triggers something different. So what we've done in detail, we're going to revisit like these. We've done them in the past, but each one, right? Pivots identify the center point in the market, right? We can go here, we put them on a vibrato, right? My harmonics, it identifies harmonic patterns in the market, which are reversal patterns, and they typically happen around psychological levels. The bounce back identifies trends. So, right, the trend is your friend. So the bounce back identifies trends, okay? The vibrato identifies correction points. So each one of these tools identifies something different, but it's looking at the same market, all right? Just for clarity, okay? So like this is a trend, right? So you see a trend line. And so what the bounce back does is it identifies that trend. And so that's what that does right there. That's what that's doing. And so you'll be able to, knowing that we haven't changed directions, right? Where was the bounce back? go into im.center. When we're on here, we go to imlwebanalyzer.com, right? This is what we always come to, imlwebanalyzer.com, all right? But every other tool, right, even a version of the vibrato, now I'm waiting on them to update it. Now you guys could go into the vibrato Facebook page and, hey, Flooded, tell them they need to update it. I've already made mention of it. I've said it. But, you know, so I'm letting you guys know if you like to come in here, what you guys need to do. So, but here, right, the bounce back is right here. So when you log in and you click strategies, when you come down, this is where all my strategies are. And you just come in here, you click the button and it'll pop it open in another tab. All right. You guys are very welcome. And this, you know, you guys, and I'm gonna tell you where the difference comes in. If you're not enrolled in the elite package, that's why some of you guys don't know. If you're not enrolled in the elite package, you're selling yourself short. You got to a la carte everything that you want. And that's not setting you up for success. So anytime that you enroll someone, anytime that, you know, you're getting enrolled, you should always be enrolling at the elite package, because that person doesn't know what the tools are, but you know you got access to them. So it should never be any different, right? We should never be doing anything different. So let's come over here and let's talk. Let's see if this one's gonna stay the same. GBP NZD is, yeah, see, this one is still on here. This one is actually triggering on a 4-hour. So let me verify these support and resistance lines, make sure they didn't shift too much, right? Because it didn't play out yet. So that means it adjusted the numbers. Remember, Fibonacci is based on swing high, swing low, right? The harmonic patterns use Fibonacci levels, and they're based on swing high, swing low. So if the trade continues or doesn't turn at that point, then your take profits can adjust, because these are based on percentages of Fibonacci. And so that's why I'm gonna go ahead and make the adjustment, just so you guys can see what I mean. And that's why we don't just make that a blind take profit, right? We have to analyze, okay? It's not a blind take profit, we analyze. And so you can kind of see that we're still within a vicinity, right? But that's 560 and that's 95, and it changed to 495. All right, so this can adjust. It didn't adjust much, but it still adjusted, right? It still adjusted. So that's 97117, right? That's what that is. So now you can see right here, all right? I'm gonna move this one down anyway. You can see right here, right, where this is still triggering for a buy. So all of these trades, right? Let's look at my higher time frame, because it's on the 4-hour, and you see where we are on my daily. My daily is starting to curve as well. So all of these, we still have good setups, right? We still have good setups. We still have good setups, right? From over here to over here to over here. We still got good setups. Sometimes you just have to wait and allow them to play out. So this is just your trading style, you know, based on the inflation reports. And, you know, that's what I'm gonna go with. That's what I'm gonna go with, because it's just taking a while to play out. We've seen where trades have played out in a day. We've seen where trades have played out, it's taken a week. You know, we've seen where those trades have had to play out like that. And so just kind of want to, you know, let you know. And then the market has been slow this week. You know, it just has, like, you have no control over that. Like you saw Monday, it was like watching paint dry. So, but you just have no control over that. We just have to ride the wave of the market. And so now what I want to do, let me put this one on here. So that's this one that's still on there. We've been looking at this one, right? You see oversold 4-hour, right? We just looked at the daily, my hour. That looked like a really good setup. It looks like a really good setup, but we have to wait, right? We just have to wait. 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 All right, so now let's look at this. It actually had an exotic. We haven't touched an exotic in a while. And this exotic actually happens to be on a harmonic scanner. Yeah, I know I'm gonna end up changing this back. And let's look. So this is the US dollar and the Mexican peso. Now let me tell you guys something. before you come touching an exotic, okay? Before you come touching an exotic, I need for you all to make sure that you understand support and resistance lines, okay? Before you come touching an exotic, right? Before you come touching an exotic, you need to understand support and resistance lines. I'm not, some things you just have to. I wonder if this one gonna stay. Y'all know what happened, right? Let's see if this one gonna stay. So let's drop this in here. Now there's a lot of liquidity in these things, okay? So if you've never traded an exotic before, I just want you guys to understand that there's a lot of liquidity in here. I'm just trying to put this on here. Let's see. Oh, we do not want this one because guess what? We know that means, right? What does that mean? That color, that blue is our psychological level line. We want to have consistency on that. So we want that consistency. So let's drop this. Now, you guys noticing that the market is all kind of the same, right? We got those longer trade setups happening right now. You guys notice that? No, maybe. Y'all hear me? I know my voice ain't that bad this morning. It's not that off, is it? Is it that bad? Okay. Like, is my voice that bad? Thank you, thank you. All right, so now this is where this is set up. Now notice that I'm pointing down right here, okay? Notice that my stochastic is pointing down. So would you be so eager to jump into a buy right now? Will we be eager? You see it's paired with USD as well, all right? It's paired with USD as well. And so now, yes, am I overbought right here on my 4 hour? Absolutely. So it's still the same, right? When I come in here and I look at it, and this white background do take a little getting used to. Oh yeah, it do. So, right, when I'm looking here, you can see how it's tapping, tap, tap, right? You can see psychological level down here, right? That's obviously a stronger one. But as I'm looking, right up in here, okay, just want you to pay attention to where we are in the market. You can definitely see where this has starting to get that curve on it. But that doesn't mean that it's going to stop right there. Now, it was also, I think this one was a higher time frame. Same thing, right? So if each one of the candles is a day, so that just means it's going to take a little bit longer to play out, right? That's really all that means, is that this is just going to take a little bit longer to play out. And so as you're watching that, and you can kind of see it, okay, right? You asking for GBP JPY, or did you get a 777 on that? So we can look at it. I got another one too. We're just gonna be pulling on these things. So all right, so I want you to keep that, okay? It's like I almost don't want to mark over these. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? All right, so all right, let's see. So basically we got setups that we're waiting for. We'll come through here and see what's going on. GBP, JPY. All right, so if I'm here, all right, if I'm looking here on my 15-minute, you can see we're sitting on a support line, right? You see that? I'm overbought. Oversold. Come up here to my hour. I'm straight down on my stochastic. You can kind of see how we're sitting on that support line, approaching it oversold. Look on my 4 hour. It look like it's in a correction on the 4 hour, but it should start pulling down. But I wouldn't jump into a sell just yet. It needs to break that level, right? But we're oversold, so it's probably gonna correct. Just know if you take a buy, right? Obviously, there's a lot of liquidity. Actually, it's no reason you should even take a buy right now. It's not about to. It should definitely be correcting right here, right? You see it? Like, look what we're oversold. We're approaching oversold, so it should be pulling back up. For right here, oversold, we should be pulling back up. Right here is straight down, right? Approaching the oversold, so it should be. And here, I know where my 4 hour is right here. So the lower time frames is in a correction to this, but even if it pulls back up, the furthest we would sell would be right up in here. You see that? Like, I'm not jumping to anything right now. And you wouldn't. Oh, so it's already played out? Yeah, but even if it's already played out, like this wouldn't even have a PCR flip till it's ready to break through here. And then it's possible to come back and retest it, right? So if it's already played out, let me see here. That's why I was asking a question. What are you asking for about it, or what specifically, right? But I didn't get a response. Yeah, it's already played out, and that's where it's sitting. That was a harmonic pattern that pulled down to here, and you can see where it's at right there, right? And this one already played out, but now you're just waiting, right? It's like you're just waiting right here. So I'm gonna go on to something else since I didn't get a response. So, all right. And GBP USD just triggered for a sell again. So for those of you all who did take the trade, who might be spazzing out if you didn't take it, 777 it is. And it's pulled back a little bit, but that's okay. You're just patience, profit. Patience, profit, patience, profit, patience, profit. You're looking for a buy, you have to wait. Like, this is pointing down. My stochastic is trying to get a little curve to it, but there's nothing there right now, right? This blue line crossed over the red and upward momentum, okay? I have to have an upward momentum. And so then you do see where it's sitting here, so you just have to wait. It's nothing at the moment, right? Where I analyze, this is flat line, so it's having a hard time gaining buy momentum, right? It's having a hard time getting that momentum. You see, I still got a lot of force that's coming down right here, right here. It hasn't broken there, so are we really about to push through? We don't know. But even right here, like this is just too much momentum for me to come down. You notice how as it was rising, it's been overbought for a while. You notice how it was rising, how this was kind of flatline, right? It was kind of riding around in that overbought territory, and it didn't. So it's still been buying, but look at what, this is a nice solid 4-hour candle, and my stochastic is finally pulling down. And so that's why this is having a hard time pulling up. That's why it's having a hard time buying right there. That's why, it really hasn't pulled up. That's why it's having a hard time. All right. So yeah, you got your sale. But that's exactly why it's having a hard time pulling up. So that's why it's not moving. And you notice that my stochastic is not, remember, that's my leading indicator. Where's my stochastic? Even though I'm sitting on that line, where's my stochastic giving me indication other than where we would enter a trade, which could just be a correction? Where's my stochastic giving me any indication that I'm about to pull up, right? My leading indicator. Where's my stochastic is flatline. It's flatline, it's flatline, it's flatline, right? It's flatline, it's flatline, it's flatline. So where is it giving me anything? You see that? And so that's what happens. We'll start looking for those buys, and we'll start trying to get into those buys, and we shouldn't be trying to get into those buys, right? You with me? So it looked like it might. Are you with me? You got me? You got me? You with me? Yes, no, maybe so. I gotta thank you. Yeah, it should. But see that this one has about what 12 hours left before we get another candle. So when you say it should, yeah, it should, but we should start, but you can see where we are. So what you're trading on the lower time frames is just this right here. I don't always come up this high, but I mean it's gonna help. It's gonna help you see the market. What you're trading is like in here. That little wick right there. So when you start coming down, you see that this is what you're trading. You see how that's marked up right there? That's the wick on the daily, right? That's the wick on the daily. And when I start coming down, these are Hikanashi candles. So this is the wick. And so this is why this is your range, and that's why that was your harmonic pattern, right? So that's your wick. That's what that is right there. All right. But it's not enough buyers are forcing the market for me to buy. It's just not right now. It's not going anywhere. It's not doing what we wanted to do. So let's kind of keep that in mind. So let me see what I have for y'all. All right, and let's go pull these. Got a little bit of time left. Let's look at these. All right, so let's look. I appreciate y'all for bearing with me because probably sound crazy. Let me see. All right, 84399. Right, this trigger for a buy. I'm gonna do this for the sake of you guys. Put it over here to the side. How is it always called? And a what? Like this one trigger for a sale, right? We already knew. Now I'm okay. It's just allergies. It's that time of the year. It's that time of the year. And I just, hey, I'm great. I'm good. I appreciate y'all. But my problem is I took some medicine, and allergy medication makes you drowsy. So that's why I probably sound, I know to me, I sound real crazy because I know what allergy medicine does. So here's a yes, it's always called in a correction, but I appreciate that. So you can kind of see the sale. And when you come up here, right, you see that it's called, and this is like where that buy is, right? You can definitely see that. And so I appreciate you. Thank you. So you can definitely see how it's been trying to break through there. You see where it pulls up right here. And, right here is trying to break. So this is why it's bouncing off of here. That's always the correction. So what it's trying to do is it's trying to break through here. And then even here, my stochastic is trying to curve. The trade just not ready. And then, of course, that's just pretty. Now, being that we've been in that downward momentum. Oh, let's talk about this. This is like what we were talking about the other day. So what is the market making, right? What's the market making? Right? The market is making what? Lower lows, lower highs and lower lows, right? It's just not pretty, right? So you can kind of see like here is a lower low. You got a lower low here, right? You have a lower low and a lower low. Now it pulled back up. Did it make a higher or is it a lower high, right? When we look right here, so you can see that high and then it came down here, right? But what happened is we never made a lower low right here. Let me get rid of this. I'll move it to the side. What happened is now we never made a lower low. You guys see how that's equal? Right here. So remember when we were talking about this in training? Remember we were talking about this in training? All right, so you guys remember that? So now it never made a lower low. So this is how we're going to determine if that's sloppy price action or if the market is shifting, right? Is it sloppy price action or is the market shifting? All right, right up in here. So notice that we never made a lower low. So is this going to come up and break through this last significant level up here? Or is like, because what this can come out of here and do, where's my thing? This one right here. So what this can come out of here and do is it can come out of here, it can tap this, it'll retest, and then it can do that, right? But if it doesn't do that, okay, what it would do is it would feel sloppy price action, it would finish retesting, and then it would come back over here and make a lower, come back here, right, and continue that pattern. So the market will tell you, but what we believe because of where we are in the market, right? Somebody mentioned my daily. As I'm looking, my daily's oversold. That's why is it so strong coming down, right? My daily is definitely oversold right there. And look at my 4 hour. My 4 hour look like it's trying to start curving up. I look at my hour. My hour is resetting, right? That's what my hour is doing. It's correcting back into my 4 hour. And so what you're seeing, right? That's why we're really not getting that movement, but you understand why we're triggering for buys, okay? Why am I getting a trigger for a buy? But you can kind of see, why do I keep doing it? You can kind of see where look at how it's rejecting off of there. So you got to pay attention to that. I'm not too eager to jump into that, right? I'm not too eager to jump into that. I'm not too eager to jump into that, okay? But at the same time, you can see where the market should be turning or where it should be starting to turn. But as we can see, right, from this week, what it should be doing is not doing. And so I think I'm gonna go back and do a training or recon a cap tomorrow night. I might shift it again based on the market. You know, training to me is always based on market conditions and what the current market is doing, right? That's just how I see it. I see the training should be based on what we're doing in the market. And, you know, we might talk about the types of market again, right? Kind of talk about that. All right. Might be talking about that tomorrow just because. All right. Any questions, comments, testimonies on there? So that's that euro. Let me see. Let me mark that one. Let's jump over here because for the last few minutes, I was going to pull up these other ones and analyze them. But let's do this since we know that we have some news in between the call. Right? Let's do this. Crypto indices all positive at that 2 hours ago. Gold, all that's positive, right? Now, and the reason I'm saying that, you guys notice how, and I'll talk about this again this morning, but I want you guys to pay attention to this. You notice how this is our arrow from yesterday, right? I see y'all cashing out. You see how this is our arrow from yesterday? Now, you notice how all this week, what has the market been doing? Is when we've been on the indices, the market has dropped and then it bought, right? It went one way initially, tapped a support resistance line, and then it bought, or then it went the other direction. And so that's that indecisiveness and settledness that the market has to get. So you see where we have this marked up, the market actually came up to here, right? So we want to pay attention to those things, right? We want to pay attention to those things. And so there is some news that's happening, right? At 8:30. Now it's not USD news, but it's still some news. So that should impact oil, right? Look, why are they running their mouth? They're running their mouth again today. So that's why the market was slow yesterday initially. But you notice how it tapped and then it went up. So you notice that's what it's been doing. So with everything that's been happening, all of that stuff can kind of impact the market. You notice that everything has been triggering. All of our indices right now are triggering for a positive. They're triggering for a buy. It's always called in a correction. We're sitting at a psychological level. And so when that finishes out of that correction, I would definitely pay attention to that and see if it doesn't pull back up or trigger for a buy again. All right. That's kind of where I would be looking. Same thing, you know, that's what they've been doing. It's like it spiked real quick and then it moves up, right? Hit taps, moves up, right? That's pretty much what's been happening. And so that's why I'm like giving you, for the first 30 minutes of the call, I've been giving you strong disclaimers, right? Real strong disclaimers about how you take your trades, about being mindful of what the market's doing, about talking about the mixture in the market and the news and re-emphasizing the news again and everything that's been happening. So that's where you can see, and I don't need anybody getting caught up in like those pullbacks or anything. But even my S&P, you kind of look at what we are, right, sitting right here. Look at how it looked like it's just waiting on that PSAR to flip. You see that continuation? And that's on a higher time frame. Yes, I'm overbought, but we know indices can live there, okay? So just kind of pay attention in between the call. You might get some movement, might be able to cash out. Gold pulled back off of the line and is pulling back up. And Bitcoin, once again, we got to let Bitcoin be great. We already talked about how it's trying to break through there. And you can see it's been kind of moving sideways. I told you Bitcoin surges, right? Gold bounces, Bitcoin surges. And you can see how it's just been kind of hanging sideways. Questions, comments, testimonies this morning? Market's a little slow at the current moment. It's not going to stay that way. You see, we got all these setups, but we haven't got the liquidity push. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Let me ask y'all a question. We talked about how it was not a lot of news this week, right? So we've been training and talking about the news. I've been getting you guys to open these folders, okay? Oops, wrong thing. So I've been trying to get you guys to open these folders. Now, what have you noticed this week? I want to see if you guys are with me. What have you noticed this week about us not having a lot of news, not having a lot of red folders, right? What have you all noticed this week about the market? It's been what? Right. See, I give y'all pop quizzes. Right. It's a lot slower. Right. It got sluggish. Right. So understanding that and knowing that, then now, isn't it great that you understand why I'm trying to shift your mind? Because so many people, and it happened to me when I started trading, they're like, run, 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 red folder, run, get away, get away, get away. And that's why I'm trying to shift your mindset, because that's how I was taught. That's all I ever heard, right? Is, oh my gosh, red folders. But now you're beginning to see that it's not run red folder, it's run to red folder, because red folders give the market direction. It gives the market direction, right? The fundamental analysis, you want those things, okay? You need those things. You need the red folders. We need the economic events. We need those things because that's where direction and liquidity come from, okay? If they understand how things are reacting and we understand where liquidity, where liquidity and things are coming from. So we want those things, okay? And so that should bring some clarity as to why when I get on here and I see red folders like these speeches, I'm like, what are y'all talking about now? What do you have to say? What is so important? Because they impact the market as well. But when I'm seeing, even still like the trades, right? This is where your trades can turn around, where you got to be so sure your analysis, all of those things, right? But I'm telling you, when I see red folders, I get excited because I know that that's going to put liquidity into the market. I know that that's going to put liquidity, that's going to give my market direction. All right. We don't have, look, see, this is just not a heavy week. And we noticed that without being a heavy week, the market is a lot slower. All right. The market has a lot less liquidity because it's what's moving it. The economic events, that's why I call them economic drivers. They move the market. So now you should have a greater appreciation for the red folders as opposed to how we were all taught, oh my God, it's a red folder. Oh my God, it's a red folder, right? Does that help? 555 in the chat if you got any clarity. If you get it, you understand. We're going to start opening these things. We're going to say, oh, what does this mean? Why do traders care? Right? Why do traders care? Traders care because we talk inflation. Traders care, right? So questions, comments, testimonies. It's time for me to close out. None? All right. And just kind of way we should get some sort of liquidity. Oh, thank you. We should get some sort of liquidity. I know it's kind of trying to break through. You can kind of see what it's doing. You get another hour candle here. We did trigger for a sell again. So you're on the right path, right? We know that. So if you didn't take profit yet, just let it play out. Patience, profit. All right. Love you guys. And I'll see you back here at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.